Hello, Rove. It's Dave again, and I got a new video series for you here. Just popped into my head the other day when I was lying down to bed. That I think it'd be really, really interesting if I tried to explore the world of lucid dreaming a little bit more. It's something I've always been really, really interested in, and I've had a really interesting relationship through my years of life with dreaming, starting from when I was very young. So I just kind of want to describe what this series is going to be like, and it's really simple. It's going to be that each time I make one of these videos, I'm going to give an update on the dream that I had the night previously and kind of talk about the process of me trying to increase my ability in regards to lucid dreaming. And you'll get some kind of cool dreams out of it. I hope at some point people can just blatantly find it entertaining. Some of the stories that I will tell from the dreams that it is that I'm having, and that'll be interesting in and of itself. And I think for me, it'll be cool to kind of map my progress to see if I actually do make some progress, and just a great record to have. I'll be able to look back however many years and look at this and go, oh man, I had a cool dream on December, whatever it was. And I really do believe that by documenting it, by doing a couple different things, that you can increase your ability because as it stands for me, I've been able to get to the point before where I'm fully aware that I'm dreaming. And then the dream is that much more vivid as a result of that. I can really look around and see what it is that I've visualized in my mind at the time in my REM sleep or whenever it is. I think that's when you dream, is your REM sleep. And you go in cycles, you go in and out of it. And I have had those times, like I say, where I can actually fully see and could describe in great detail. I wish at times that I were an artist so I could maybe paint or draw the things from my dreams. I think that would be cool for an artist if they could practice doing something like this. What a unique experience that would be. You could literally draw your dreams. No reason why you couldn't. I mean, if you wake up and you recall what it was that you saw with great detail, you could. You could just draw straight out of them. But I don't quite have that ability for drawing, so mine is more just I'm going down this different avenue where I know for a fact that if you write your dreams down, that you start to recall them much more quickly. And so I've gotten myself a journal here, and I've started to write down my dreams. And like I say, on each one of these videos, I'm going to share whatever dream was the previous night. And so I've got a couple dreams backed up here from 3 days because I haven't made a video on this. This is the beginning of it, but I kind of wanted to give the explanation of what this series is going to be about. And I'm going to do a couple different things. I've got the dream log, which I think will be one way to reinforce my ability. I've got this in itself. I think just talking about your dreams allows you to recall them much more easily. And then the thing that kind of triggered it is I do a little bit of meditating because, if you get into meditating at all, you can realize that you can meditate on anything, whether it's that you want to be more creative, you want to relax more, you want to deal with some, emotional issue, or you just blatantly enjoy it. You're not dealing with something, you're just using it as an enhancement of your peace. You just feel better. And I was thinking about it the other night that could be another avenue that I might improve this by would be to meditate on lucid dreaming. And I found a whole bunch of guided meditations and people who can lead you through some visualization processes to improve it. So that's something else that I'm going to try and do. And so I'll talk about the dreams I had and the progress I've made with all these different avenues that I'm exploring to try and increase this. And I think it'll be a cool ride for the viewers. And then for me, a great log to have to look back on. I've even got kind of a cool little idea I thought to be extra a little bit creative. I'm going to, on the front page of this, for whichever dream I've had that night, I'm going to try and draw some kind of symbol that is related to it. If you dream about being on a tropical island, then draw a tropical tree or something like that. And I'll have this cool kind of image developed based around the dreams that I was having. So a cool creative project, and just something else to be creative on the channel with. So this will be a whole new series. So with that said, I'll just jump into the 2 or 3 dreams that I've had so far that I've recorded. And I will say I can definitely tell that these are just budding. They're just like I'm just starting to, since I'm approaching it again. It made me realize how much more, when I used to focus on this stuff, how much more vividly I dreamt. So dream 1 is December 29th, 2013. And the first one that I tried to remember when I woke up and I wrote it down was set in a sort of medieval setting, and I was defending this building. It was a kind of fortification, and I'm fighting some unnamed opponent. Most of that seems pretty vague. Um, I don't, like I say, remember much when I'm just starting this out, but we had to retreat from the fortification at one point. It was being overwhelmed. We're being followed by this enemy. But then I remembered one part of the dream in great detail. It's incredible when you do remember these parts so clearly. It's not just some vague concept where we were retreating and this one guy in my group gets attacked and he goes to attack the enemy and he slices him with a sword and he slices him across here and he thinks that the job is done. So he kind of turns around to the rest of us in victory and he's happy he succeeded in slaying this enemy. But then the guy that he hit wasn't quite dead, and so the guy's lifting his sword to kill him. And I jump in there, and I blocked it with my own sword and pulled the guy away at the same time, and then managed to, deliver the killing blow and took out this enemy who was trying to kill him. And so that was really, really cool. That was a good little bit to remember. And earlier in the night, I had a sort of superhero dream, and I knew that I was being held captive by some villain, but that one was so vague. I just recall that much, that I was a superhero theme. I was with a team. I was held captive, but I don't really remember in any greater detail what it was that I experienced in that dream. So that was just very, very vague. But a part of it, and I figure, anything I can recall, I should just put it down. And that's how this is all going to start. And then to the next dream, December 30th, 2013, dream 2. I dreamt of being in Thailand. And this is kind of cool because I remember the tropical setting of it, it's beautiful, it's got sand beaches, it's got palm trees, all that kind of thing. But it's so cool because nobody in my dream actually told me that I was in Thailand. It's just funny because you just know, and I think that's kind of a cool aspect of perception. Just makes a statement of our perception, whether waking or dreaming, how we just assume realities, and you just know things because they just are. There's a part of your existence that is just an assumed existence, whether you're dreaming or not. You don't have things to necessarily prove it. You just kind of take that for what it is. So I'm in Thailand. I remember, strange details, but I'm gonna give it all. I think that's what'll be so funny is these odd details in the future. I was eating crab cakes. I love crab cakes, but that's just strange to remember that. And onions. I knew that I was in Thailand with a friend, and I turned into a real bastard in this dream because I'm with Thailand with this friend, and we meet up with these girls, and he's kind of hitting it off with her, but then I kind of just, I'm too suave for his going after her, and I steal the girl. She ends up with me, and so, like I say, I'm just being a real bastard in this dream, but you're just doing what you do. Um, I'm an observer at this point in time. I can't control my moral behavior in my dreams yet. So I thought that was interesting. And then I knew as well, like I say, I just had this perception in my mind that on this trip I was also there to learn the language. This is all very interesting because this is what right now my dad is actually doing. So I think somewhat this dream is a reflection of my subconscious, thinking about his experience being over there, learning the language, stuff like that. And so I was going to a class to learn the language, but the strangest thing was when I went to the class that they were teaching math. And I remember that being horrible because I'm horrible at math when I went to this class. Or whenever I went to class, I've always been horrible at math. And I even remember the guy writing an equation on the board, which I've written down, tried to recall what it looked like. And it was 5, bracket, AB, bracket, divided by, bracket, two numbers I didn't know, close bracket, and a 6. And I can tell even looking at this, it's my brain spitting out kind of random numbers, but there was something in balancing equations I remember when I was in high school that kind of looks similar to this, like something over AB divided by blah, blah, blah. It's like the basic formula for balancing equations. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like recalling specific numbers. So there's that. And then as the class progressed, there was this guy next to me. His name was Kennedy. He's a guy I used to know in high school, turned into a real prick towards me. At one point, I don't know, he was just a little bit nuts in the first place. And he was there kind of mocking my difficulty with the question at hand. And I remember being kind of pissed at him in the dream, being like, oh, forget about it, man. Like, you don't need to be giving me a hard time. And so I was trying to ignore him in the class, and then a new question was proposed on the board, but it just shows the fluidity of dreams, where the next question that was asked in the class had to do with language. And that's something I feel far more competent with, language or writing, something like that, more of an art student. And so I was filled at that point in the dream with a much greater sense of confidence. And that's kind of where it ends. All of this, like I say, to begin with, it's all going to be very vague, and especially holds true for the last dream that I just had last night. I woke up in the morning and I was like immediately thinking to myself, remember what it is that you were dreaming. But it really did leave me, and I kind of have a theory as to why that was. So all that I recall in the dream was being really, really upset with a family member, and yelling at the top of my lungs. And I have this weird thing, I've had this in dreams before, where sometimes sound works for me in dreams, but when I yell or when I get really, really upset, it's like I'm muted in the dream, and I can even feel that. No matter how hard I'm yelling, I can't make any sound. And I feel like my recollection, a better recollection of this dream, was overwhelmed by this one point in the dream where I just grew incredibly irate and upset about whatever it was that was going on in the dream. And so it ruined most of my recollection for Dream 3, December 31st, 2013. So that's a real short one. It was almost a lesson to me about, you gotta, if you can try and go to bed with like a clearer head, you'll probably have clearer dreams. And ones that you can recall more, where if you do have something that is so emotionally intense, your attention will only be drawn to that fact when you wake up, and that's what you'll be stuck with. So that's it so far. I'm really hoping for the new year, for January tomorrow, that I have a better dream. I'm gonna try and do a little meditation before I go to sleep on lucid dreaming. I'm going to try and do it with clear head and get a bit longer sleep as well, because I think that's going to contribute to the dreams. And so I can end with a final story here about my dreaming when I was young, because I said that I had an interesting relationship with it, and this was so cool. This is something, if I could ever reach this now in my grown-up state, it'd be really, really cool. So when I was young, I was a dreamer, always have been. I think I am. A lot of people say they don't dream, but I think they do. They just don't remember it. And when I was young, I was very much in a position where I remembered every single dream, but it went so far beyond kind of, people say that they have reoccurring dreams. I had something so much more than that. I had a progressive storyline dream, I guess you could call it, where when I dreamt at night, there were 3 or so characters that I would always meet up with. And it's so funny. I was like, this doesn't mean a great deal, but I thought one of them was named Dodd, and I don't know why. It was so funny. Dodd is such a unique name that I would name somebody that in my dreams, and I just, again, it's that perceptual thing where you just know that that's their name when I dreamt about them. And then my brothers gave me a real hard time, because back in the day there used to be, I think it was Dodd's Furniture Warehouse, and they would always point to that and go, "Oh, there's Dodd," and they would mock me. But in retrospect, it's just very, very funny. But then I thought about it the other day. I was like, for a conspiracy theorist, I was like, well, what rhymes with Dodd? And that I would always meet this person, and they were always my friend. But that's just funny. I thought that was good. So the way that this would work was I would fall asleep. I'd have a dream. I'd dream with these 3 characters that I really enjoyed hanging out with, and we'd go on all these different crazy adventures, stuff like that. And then I'd wake up in the morning and go about my day. And when I'd come back to my dream at night, it would be as though those characters had waited for me, and they were waiting as of where we had left off in the last dream. And we would continue along. And I had this unbroken stretch of progressive, adventurous dreams with these 3 friends. And when I think about that now, I've never actually heard of somebody having something like that before. I know that people have had reoccurring dreams lots of times, but never ever that sort of continued storyline. So I thought that was pretty unique and interesting. And maybe, if I do this journal, I do this meditation, I create this log online, maybe I'll get somewhere near to back there again. But I can say, like, even recently, without making this focus, I've been having dreams occasionally that I've not written down, but that were just so vivid and so clear, and I could describe them by word to somebody, and a lot of them were just very, very beautiful. Some of the locations I remember being on this beautiful green grass beach one time with these beautiful trees next to me and this, this water with the sun shining off of it. And it was just incredible, and I feel like that's something worth writing down. That's a really wonderful memory to have if you can call on it. And I'd probably have a lot more if I do what I'm doing now. So that's kind of that's the extent of it. This was kind of like I say, it was 3 dreams, and in not very much detail because it's just the beginning of this whole project. But I think as I progress, they're going to get a lot more vivid, a lot longer, a lot more in depth, and so I'll be able to have something interesting to convey to people who want to check it out. So thanks for checking this out. That's pretty much going to be it. The next one will be, this is going to be a pretty regular thing because it's easy for me to write down in this journal what it is that I dreamt about the night before, and then I'll either be doing a single dream or catching up with whatever it is I need to catch up with to create a blog or video blog, whatever, vlog, to catch up with the dreams that I've been doing. So if you enjoy this, please do like, subscribe, share all that good stuff because I'm going to, I'll have a bunch more dreams for you. I think it'll be pretty entertaining. And yeah, that's all coming down the line. Thanks for checking this out. And like I like to say, until we meet again, world, thanks for tripping with Dave. Ciao for now.